What's up guys, Jimmy here, and today I want to talk about Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves. I want to give you guys my impression and answer the question, is this game worth playing? Is it worth spending $60 on it and playing it as a fighting game, as a serious fighting game, or as a casual fighting game? Here is my opinion. But first of all, shoutouts to SNK for sponsoring today's video and a couple of my streams. They've been very supportive lately and I've been happy to try out Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, and as a result, you're getting a lot of extra content on top of that. So thanks a lot SNK for the support. So there are three things that I mainly want to talk about: the offline features, the online features, and the gameplay itself. Those are like the three separate big categories that we're going to be covering today, starting with the offline features. The game has a couple of interesting offline features. If you want to learn the game, for example, there's training mode, there are tutorials, there are missions, kind of like the trials in Street Fighter. Those three are specifically there for that. Training mode, for example, is pretty good. It's not as fleshed out as Street Fighter 6 is, for example, but it's not bad either. I spent quite a lot of time there figuring out some stuff, so it's definitely a good addition. The missions give you a great concept of some of the combo possibilities for the characters. It'll make you think about, like, if you're just starting with a new character, it's going to be very helpful to just do a couple of the missions to figure out what can the character do, like some basic hints at what you should be doing. And the tutorial mode will teach you the basics of the game mechanics, essentially. And this is a bit of a weak part about the game, in my opinion. I think the tutorial mode should really include some basics about all the characters. Like, all of the characters should, in some fashion, be introduced. And I think this is a bit of a missed opportunity, maybe something that SNK can update later on to just have a little, like, just an introduction, just show every character and tell the player what is this character about, how do you play this, what's the style, where are they effective and where is their weakness. This way you can learn not just about your own character, how you're supposed to play, but also maybe about a frustrating character that you have trouble to play against. You can watch their tutorial to figure that out, but unfortunately that's not there right now. But yeah, as I said, it gives you a good understanding at least of the game mechanics, and they are pretty extensive, so we'll talk about that later on in the gameplay section. There's also obviously a versus mode and arcade mode. I've not really tried arcade mode, but I have tried the actual single player experience, the bigger one that the game includes. We'll talk about that in a second as well. But yeah, versus mode. Obviously it's got that as well, but with a twist. There's like a special versus and a normal versus mode. I've not tried playing that because I do not have any friends, so yeah, I gotta play online if I want to meet players, right? But I find it interesting that you can actually play this game in a versus mode in a party style with different rules and stuff. This is what the game definitely offers, kind of similar to what Street Fighter 6 is doing as well. So I really like this inclusion because it really shows SNK is thinking more about how are they getting new players to try out the game instead of just making the game fun for the competitive audience that is gonna, like, the fans are still gonna play it, right? Especially if the gameplay is good, spoiler alert, it is, they're going to be playing it. So it's great to see SNK is focusing on a new audience that they can try it out and have some fun with it as well. But yeah, if instead you're interested in the story mode, it's called Episodes of Southtown, and it's an RPG-like experience where you go through a bunch of matches, you level up your character, you get a story for your character, so every single character has their own unique storyline. At the end you can fight a boss, you get items to upgrade your character, and like, it's an RPG-like experience, and it was really a lot of fun. Like, somebody suggested me trying it out specifically because others have had also questions about what do you actually do in the game if you're not really interested in, like, the online multiplayer and just fighting people. Like, what do you do if you're paying $60 and you just want to experience something like a story? And well, the closest to that would be Episodes of Southtown. So yeah, I mean, it's not really on the same level as some other fighting games with crazy cinematic experiences that have a focus on that. It's not really like that, but it was still enjoyable. It has a couple of like interesting mini games, and it definitely keeps you entertained for a while. I mean, even me, like I'm really focused on the competitive side, right? But I still got more than 4 hours of playtime into that, and there's still plenty of things to do, and I just tried it out with one character. If you go through all of the characters, like 17 at the moment, and you go and you try to beat the story mode with all of them, it's gonna take you hundreds of hours to do that. So yeah, that's a lot of content. But as I said, it's not like a crazy big cinematic experience. It does not have that, but in my opinion, it's well executed for what it is. So next up, let's talk about the gameplay of this game. I mean, this is a core element, obviously, for both competitive players and for casual players. This is going to matter a lot. If the gameplay is not fun, then the game is not worth playing, right? So is it any good? Yes, it actually is. If you're coming from Street Fighter, a lot of mechanics are actually pretty similar. It's a 2D fighting game after all, so yeah. Blocking is effectively the same as in Street Fighter, which is good. Like for me personally, it was very easy to get into Fatal Fury. It's kind of like a simplified version of Street Fighter in some ways, because you only have 4 attack buttons: a light punch, light kick, heavy punch, and a heavy kick. So it's a little bit more simple compared to Street Fighter's 6-button layout with 3 kicks and 3 punches. But yeah, I thought at first it's actually kind of a simple game as a result, but no, I was actually wrong on that. The game makes up for the simplicity in terms of what attack buttons you can press, with the amazing additions of feint cancels, the way the rev system interacts with the game. Is quite amazing and unique. There's quite a lot of depth going on when it comes to blocking. There are various ways to block in this game. Many different types of blocking: regular blocks, just defense, hyper defense, you have a rev guard on top of that. You know, like there's a bunch of things, like a lot of mechanics going on right there. And maybe the standout mechanic for me personally is just feint canceling. The fact that you can pretend like you're doing an attack but you're not is really such a beautiful thing. I think having that as your universal game mechanic is just beautiful, because it encompasses everything that everybody loves about fighting games, and that is the mind games aspect. It's a core element of all fighting games, that you're trying to bait your opponent into something specific and then punish him for it. And feints are a perfect example of how you want to do that. You pretend like you throw a fireball, the startup animation is the same, but you're actually just doing a feint. The opponent jumps at you, you're punishing him, stuff like that. It's just beautiful, and the game is a lot of fun as a result, because you're constantly, it's just so much stuff to do. There's a lot of variety going on, even though you have just 4 buttons to press in terms of attacks. Don't underestimate that. There's a lot of things going on. EX moves can cancel into each other. You can cancel the animation of some special moves. That's called a break. So yeah, you can really tell SNK thought this through a lot, and I really enjoy the gameplay as a result. By now I should have mentioned that the game has, just like in Street Fighter, you have your motion inputs, and I think you also have charge inputs. I've not played a character with charge inputs, but yeah, they're definitely there. And if you're a beginner, motion inputs, actually all of the special moves are difficult to execute without proper training. So this game, just like Street Fighter, offers a different alternate style of controlling the characters called Smart Style. So if you don't want to, well, deal with that, if you just want to have fun, if you just want to get into the game right away without having to learn motion inputs, there you go, you have Smart Style. It's like modern controls in Street Fighter 6, and it's executed very similarly as well, so very, very good. Like this is something that beginners are going to appreciate, intermediate players are going to hate it, just like they do in Street Fighter 6, because now, if you almost have no idea about the game, but you want to beat your little brother is going to beat you now, because they can play Smart Style, and they can expose how bad you actually are at the game. that's what's going to happen in this game, just like in Street Fighter 6 as well. So looking forward to that. If you want to hear more about the gameplay side of things, especially coming from Street Fighter, if you want to get into the game but you have no idea, well, what to look for, if you want any tips from me, there's going to be a separate tutorial for that. I'm going to release something that is like a beginner guide. Okay, let's call it a beginner guide. What you should be focusing on when you're starting the game right away, what I learned in the few days that I had with the game so far, coming up soon. So definitely subscribe, hit the bell icon to not miss out. So now let's talk about the online features. And if you've been following my channel for a while, you know how important online features are to me and what I think about them. Like if you mess up the online features, it doesn't really matter if your game is fun. Like if players are just having a hard time enjoying the game because they cannot play each other online, it's gonna be a mess. You know, it does not matter how good your gameplay is. This has to be good. And fortunately, I have some great news. It is really good. It is very, very good, in fact. One thing that I was worried about from the first beta of Fatal Fury City of the Wolves was the matchmaking. The matchmaking was not that good. It consistently, like when you try to find players, it would take very long to connect you. Even when it tried to connect you, it would fail a lot of the times. The matches that did go through had lag because of high pings. So the matchmaking was a bit of a mess in the first beta. And the second beta, when that came through, you could already feel a massive improvement. You could tell that they really fixed a big issue, which was the matchmaking. You could tell that the netcode itself was actually good, even in the first beta, but you could barely find any matches to, well, take advantage of the good netcode. So yeah, all of that has been fixed. I can tell you, I've been playing so many matches in this game and had almost no issues whatsoever. So definitely nailed this one. Matchmaking, great. And maybe even more importantly, or maybe even more impressively, the netcode is amazing. Like sometimes I would play matches with somewhat of a high ping, and it was shocking because you almost forget you're playing online. It's really great, and it reminds me of Street Fighter 6 because both of these games have amazing netcodes. And I thought for sure I'm gonna have a negative opinion on Fatal Fury because Street Fighter 6 did a really good job at that, and I thought Fatal Fury is not going to be able to accomplish something similar, but I was wrong. I'm very happy to report I was wrong. The netcode is amazing, the matchmaking is good. So there are a few other areas when it comes to online features that we could talk about. Room matches, for example, I have not tested in the release version. There were issues in the betas as well, but I have talked to others who have tried the features and they said it's a lot better now. You could not find, or you could not invite people with a room ID. You could not find other rooms, even if you knew the ID of the room. Those issues apparently have been fixed, but I have not tested this myself. But it's great to see nonetheless. I mean, people wouldn't report that this is good if it wasn't actually good now, right? So yeah, this is also fixed. It's great to see SNK is actually using the betas, or use the betas, to make the release version of this game really solid. All the problems apparently have been fixed. One area that could really see some improvements is the replay system. So first of all, I noticed when checking out the feature itself that you would randomly get some replays suggested, but I couldn't really see any pattern. You couldn't really filter properly what you want to search for. The replays do not have any IDs on them, so if there's like in Street Fighter, it's very common for people to say, hey Jimmy, can you look at this replay from me to check out what went wrong, and they could just, well, send me the ID of the replay and I could immediately watch the replay file. That is not possible in this game, unfortunately. There are no replay IDs, so it's not that easy to use. And also, like, one thing that I did notice as well, if you go and watch a replay, sometimes it would just be glitched. It would be desynced, apparently. So the matches that happened were actually fine, but then the saved replay would actually not play back what actually happened. So it's not really synchronized, and as a result, the replay file that you're playing is just completely wrong. So yeah, this is a problem that SNK has acknowledged. They have actually already pushed out a patch for the game, which is amazing. Like actually yesterday was the official release of the game. Today we've already seen a bit of a patch to fix some issues, like the infinites for some of the characters. Marco, for example, had an infinite that got removed from the game. Very quick to respond, just a few days after people discovered this. It's already, like, SNK is already there to fix some bugs, fix some game-breaking things that people have found. People are really good at that, by the way. So it's great to see SNK with this level of support. And as I said, the replay issue has been, well, SNK knows about it. They have mentioned it in the patch, but they're still investigating and, well, trying to find a fix for that. There's one great feature that I didn't really get to try, and that is the clone feature. It's an AI feature that lets you play against, well, an AI version of yourself or other players. I think this is a great way for people to get over ranked anxiety, or in general, like online play versus real human players anxiety. You can get that similar experience now with this clone feature. I think a lot of people are going to appreciate that. I've not tried it, as I said, so I don't really know how good it is, but it sounds really cool to see, like, this level of commitment that they are actually going to be incorporating such an interesting feature that surely took some time to develop as well. So that's it for the online features. There are actually two features that I've not mentioned so far that I'm super happy about, that Street Fighter, for example, does not have, and I don't think any of the other fighting games potentially don't have it either. Not sure, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but that is the color edit mode. That's the first big one. You can legit, like, you can actually go in and edit almost any part of any costume with your own color. So you can really customize everything. And this is something that Street Fighter, for example, that they sell you colors. Like, you can buy color packs for the characters. And to be honest, in Street Fighter 6, they're all pretty bad. Like, a lot of colors I'm really confused about, because I'm not quite sure what's going on with Street Fighter and when it comes to DLC and colors. But Fatal Fury, on the other hand, here, you can just edit everything yourself. If you like it in a specific color way, go ahead, make yourself your own version of the costume. And I think that's awesome. I really think this really shows, like, players wanna have a unique look. I mean, me personally, I didn't even touch the mode, but I know a lot of people are super excited for that, and I totally get it. It's really such a fantastic thing to give to the players instead of milking the community with, like, color packs as DLC. A lot of the time, let's be real, a lot of the time this is the DLC that is just the most lazy DLC, but the easiest cash grab for the developer, and it's great to see SNK is not going to go down that route. The other feature that I'm super happy about is the jukebox. Like, I've never seen, I've really never, ever, I don't think any game has that, seen a music settings option that is so amazing. You can legit change the music for every single menu. If you want to have a different type of music in the character select screen, go ahead, change it. If you want to have different music in any of the stages, you can select it. You can do whatever you want. Every single menu, you can separately select the music that is played there. And I think that's absolutely amazing. And the good part is, the game actually has amazing music to choose from. So the soundtrack of Fatal Fury City of the Wolves happens to be amazing. A lot of people have been praising the soundtrack, myself included. So yeah, great jukebox feature, great music. You combine both and you have an amazing experience. This is exactly what you want, and something that others, like Street Fighter, for example, well, try to actually make you pay for. I actually had to buy some of the music in Street Fighter, and here, I mean, I looked at it, and it was a massive library of albums and stuff, and it's all part of the game, you know? You paid for the game $60, so you got everything. Like it's so unusual to see that nowadays. But yeah, that is basically my impression of the game. Very positive. There are some shortcomings for sure, but overall I think the game is doing an amazing job with like really everything. Like the gameplay is amazing. For me personally, if the gameplay is good and the online features are good, like mostly the matchmaking and the netcode, then it's a win. It's already a win. But the game has a lot more to offer than that, so I'm very happy to see that. It all depends at the end of the day. It all depends though, how is the game gonna do long term? How many players are gonna keep playing? There's a DLC plan for the game, so if you bought the game at full price, you're actually gonna get the first wave of DLC characters like as part of the bundle, so you're basically paying $60 for 22 games, which is actually much more than what Street Fighter gives you. So yeah, there's that. We'll see what the game is going to be doing long term, because ultimately the community decides whether a game is worth playing or not. At the end of the day, if people drop out on the game too early, then you can have the best netcode and the best gameplay, but if nobody's playing, then it's not going to be good enough, right? And this is the biggest question mark for any fighting game, by the way. So yeah, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see about that. I think SNK is really doing everything that they can. Like the marketing of the game has been particularly interesting as well, with Ronaldo and Salvatore, the DJ, as playable characters. They're going really unique ways, trying to do something different in order to grab new players' attention, viewers' attention to that. And yeah, I really hope that's actually going to work out, because the more active fighting games there are, the more competition there is, the more of a necessity there's going to be for the established players like Street Fighter or Tekken to actually do better as well. So hopefully that is going to work out for SNK, and hopefully you'll be enjoying the game as well. Definitely let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks a lot for watching, take care, and I'll see you soon.